WTF are Core Web Vitals, and why should you care? Well, in this 5-minute video, I'm going to share everything you need to know about Google's latest major update to search engine ranking factors, Core Web Vitals. My name's Paul Ballardin, and my goal is to help CEOs, business owners, and marketing directors, just like you, understand everything you need to know about search engine optimization to empower you to get more from your marketing team or external agency. Because SEO is hard, like really hard. You ready? Let's do it. So WTF or Core Web Vitals anyway? Well, in May 2020, Google released a blog to the developer community called Evaluating Page Experience for a Better Web. So the blog post described a set of signals or metrics that Google had developed to enable it to assess a website page experience. And Google stated that this would result in a major change to the way that pages were ranked in search engines. Core Web Vitals would join existing page experience signals and break down the overall user experience into well-defined and somewhat easier to measure metrics. So Core Web Vitals would look at three main things: loading, interactivity, and page stability, and join the existing page experience metrics of mobile friendly, safe browsing, HTTPS, and no intrusive interstitials, which are things like those annoying pop-ups you sometimes get when you go to leave a web page. Google said that page experience would become one of the hundreds of factors that it uses when evaluating search engine rankings of a web page. So let's dive into the individual components of Core Web Vitals. The first Core Web Vital metric is LCP, or largest contentful paint. And this metric is a measure of page loading. In fact, LCP is concerned with the perceived speed at which a page loads. And it does this by looking at the time it takes to load the largest individual element on the visible screen when a web page first loads. Google has set the guideline that the time it takes for this individual largest element to load should be less than 2.5 seconds. And this gives us the LCP loading time and loading metric and benchmark against which this is measured. At this stage, the elements that can be evaluated for LCP would include blocks of text, images, videos, background images, and images that exist within an SVG tag. The second Core Web Vital metric is first input delay, or FID, which is a measure of responsiveness or interactivity. So while LCP was a measure of how quickly the user perceived the page was loading, first input delay is concerned about the responsiveness of the page to that first interactivity and what that user experience is like. For FID, an interaction can be the first touch of a page, tap of a button, click on a link, or any other interaction with any other sort of element on the page. And FID really is concerned with unwanted latency on the page. So it's that measure of that sort of responsiveness to the first interaction when the user first loads that page. A low FID helps ensure that a page is stable, and Google defines low or a good score of 100 milliseconds or less from that first interaction to the responsiveness of that interaction. The third Core Web Vital metric is Cumulative Layout Shift, or CLS, which is concerned about the visual stability of the page and more so eliminating like annoying shifts or movements in page layouts as elements on the page load. Examples of a cumulative layout shift include things such as web fonts loading, images, banner ads, maybe videos loading, when the loading of these events causes the content around them to move up or down. It could be perceived as a glitch or as quite a significant amount of content on the page moving. In this example from debugbear.com, we can see, in fact, two cumulative layout shifts. The first is in between the first paint and when the web font loads, and that causes the heading title to wrap and push some of the content down. And then in the second phase, we can see the banner out of the top load, and that has the impact of moving a series of content down the page. So this would be 2 cumulative layout shifts event that take place as that page is loading. The calculation of the cumulative layout shift score is a lot more complicated than for first Contentful Paint or first input delay, because it's really concerned with how much of the page is impacted by this layout shift. So I think we'll dive into that in another video, but needless to say, the more stable a page is, the better the score, and that's what Google wants to see. Now that we've covered the core Web Vital metrics, you're probably wondering, well, how can I tell if I have a problem or see how my website is performing for the core Web Vital scores? Well, the great news is that there are a number of tools available that allow you to get a snapshot of the performance of your site. And these tools, which I've listed here, include Google's Page Speed Insights, the Chrome UX Report, Google Search Console, Chrome DevTools, which are actually built into your Chrome browser, and Lighthouse with the Web Vitals extension. I have a series of videos planned on how these tools work and how you can use them to have a look at your website at a very high level and evaluate that for the impact of the core Web Vitals rollout. If the concept of core Web Vitals is somewhat new to you, I imagine you might be scratching your head right now thinking, well, what does this mean for my business and the performance of my website in search engine rankings? Well, I think we can take from Google's focus on this that page experience is really important. And to be fair, we should be aiming to provide an amazing customer experience across all aspects of our business, including the website. The core Web Vitals will join the hundreds of other factors that Google uses when determining where a web page or website should rank. And for now, Google continues to reassure us that content really is king. Google will continue to reward those sites or those pages with the best information, because at the end of the day, that is providing the best user experience. But the kicker is that if you operate in an industry or a space where the information that you have is similar to other web pages or websites, then core Web Vitals and page experience comes in as the defining factor in determining where websites and web pages will rank. So I guess core Web Vitals and page experience overall become both a risk, but also an opportunity for those businesses that are committed to providing a great user experience across the full range of their business. So what about timing? Well, while Google made the initial announcement about core Web Vitals back in May 2020, we started to see websites impacted in June and July of 2021. And Google has announced that by the end of August 2021, the core Web Vital rollout will be complete across all websites. So this is huge. This is going to have an impact across all websites. And depending on if your page experience is better or worse than your competitors, you could see an impact on your search engine ranking results. If you'd like to learn more about core Web Vitals, head on over to web.dev/vitals for all of the technical details, or drop me a question in the comments below and I'll do my best to come back to you as soon as possible. So that's core Web Vitals. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you got some value from the video. This is SEO for CEOs. My name's Paul Ballardin. Stay tuned for more videos just like this.